In this section, we'll go over converting CAD files to shapefiles using Esri ArcGIS software. In this example, we'll use ArcMap, even though you can use ArcGIS Pro following similar steps if required. Before you open ArcMap or ArcCatalog to start this process, look over the CAD conversion checklist in Section 2. To begin your conversion process, make sure that you download the shapefile templates found in Section 1 of the manual to a local drive. You can set up these templates and their metadata to your organization so that way you can reuse them multiple times. Once you've downloaded those templates, open ArcCatalog to set up the metadata. In ArcCatalog, click on the Customize button and click on ArcCatalog Options. Under the Metadata tab, change Item Description to FGDC Metadata Standards. You can click Apply and click OK. Once you change those standards, you can go to each shapefile template that you downloaded at your local drive, click on the shapefile and the description, and click Edit. Here you'll see many options on filling information for the metadata. We ask that you provide a brief description, such as the project, the location of the site, and the date or the year that the site or the project is being submitted. Additionally, you can fill out your points of contacts, your name, and your organization, position, and role. When you're done with this, you can click Save, and it'll exit out of the editor mode. If you are done editing, repeat this step for all the shapefile templates, and you can close ArcCatalog. Open a blank map in ArcMap. You can save this MXD as a working map if you like, or just use it as a temporary location to do your CAD file conversions. Go to the folder in the catalog pane where you already edited your metadata for your project. Create a copy of the shapefiles that you need for your specific type of ELOI application. Just as a reminder, for presence-absence applications, you only need a site boundary. For footprint of disturbance, you need a site boundary shapefile and a footprint of disturbance shapefile. For delineations, you require a site boundary and maybe a wetland shapefile and a transition area shapefile, depending on what is located on your site. And that's the same for wetland verifications. You will always need a site boundary. It will not accept a footprint of disturbance, and most likely you will need a wetland boundary and or a transition area boundary. In this example, we're going to go through a footprint of disturbance, which requires a site boundary and a footprint of disturbance boundary. Right-click on your site boundary template, click Copy, and go to your working folder and click Paste. You'll see that that template was copied over. You can rename your template to your site project. Try not to use any spaces or special characters. Do the same thing for all your required shapefiles. The next step is to convert your CAD files into your shapefiles. Bring your CAD file into your map by dragging it into the table of contents. You might notice that if you get an error for unknown spatial reference, we'll have to set the coordinate system. Click OK. Click the drop down, navigate to your polygon layer, right-click, and open the attribute table. Go to your site boundary and highlight the row, and you'll see that your boundary is highlighted. Right-click on the layer, go to Data, and export the data. Navigate to the folder that you want to save your temporary exported CAD file. You want to add this file to the map. Repeat these steps for your footprint of disturbance. Please note that in ELOI services, you can only have one footprint of disturbance per application, and it must be under 1 acre in size. If you have 2 areas, 2 footprint of disturbances, you must apply for 2 applications online. We'll use footprint of disturbance 1 in this example. I highlighted the row, footprint of disturbance, I see it on the map. I right-click on the group layer, on the polygon layer, click Data, and Export Data. I label it Export CAD FOD, so I know that this is the export that happened from the CAD file and not from the template. You can always close the attribute tables. Hiding the CAD layer so I don't get confused on what's on the site. Once you converted your CAD files into temporary shapefiles, we want to copy the features inside those CAD files to the correct template with the correct field attributes required for the electronic system. You can make sure that your shapefiles are in the correct temporary folder so things don't get confusing. And if you right-click on your CAD shapefile, if you open the attribute table, you'll notice that we don't need any of these fields or attributes to come into the template shapefile. We simply want to copy the polygon. Drag your templates from your working folder in the catalog pane into the table of contents. Start editing. If you do not have the editor toolbar, go to Customize at the top, click Toolbars, and click Editor. You can dock the editor toolbar to your ArcMap by dragging it to the top. Select Editor, start editing, and choose the first shapefile that you want to edit. I would suggest to start with the site boundary and work through any other shapefiles that are required. Click OK and press Continue. Select through the attribute table the boundary of the site. On the top, click Copy and then click Paste. Select the ELOI site template in your working folder that you want to copy and paste the features into. Click OK. When you right-click on the attribute table, you'll notice that the polygon was copied over. You can uncheck your CAD layer to make sure that the site layer has that polygon. The next step is to fill out the attribute table. Inside the manual, under Appendix A, Attribute Table Requirements, provides guidance on how to fill out the attribute table. In a site shapefile, you start with the LOI type, and in this instance, we have an FWLI2, a footprint of disturbance. Make sure you copy and paste, otherwise writing it manually could add some error for typos. In the LOI F type, we write the type of feature that this shapefile is. So S for site boundary. The rest of the information is more intuitive. Your firm name, the surveyor's name, the license number, the plan date, if you don't have a revised date at this moment, please remove any entries and make sure that it is null or blank. Use the documentation to help you determine or write the accuracies of the positioning. Once you are done editing your shapefile, click on Save Edits. You can also stop editing to make sure that everything's saved correctly. So now you can see that this site shapefile has copied over your polygon, and your template matches the templates that's required for the ELOI system for a site boundary with the correct entries. You want to repeat these for all your required shapefiles. It's best to turn off the layers that you are not working with so you don't get confused on where you're copying and pasting your polygons. Start with your footprint of disturbance. Open the attribute table, click Editor, start editing your exported CAD footprint of disturbance file, and click on the row. Click Copy, then click Paste, and select the footprint of disturbance, and click OK. Open the attribute table, and you'll notice that there are slight differences between the site shapefile and the footprint of disturbance shapefile. You can toggle between attribute fields by right-click Open Attribute Table and look at the bottom of your attribute window and click on the layer that you want to view. So notice in the site shapefile you have an ELOI type, but in the FOD shapefile you do not have the ELOI type. You only need the F type, the type of feature inside the shapefile. In this instance, we have F for footprint of disturbance. You can use the guidance document to help you fill out these different sections. You can see there's W for wetlands, T for transition area, or F for footprint of disturbance. The rest of the information stays the same. Repeating the information, you can copy and paste from one table to another, or retype that information. Make sure that it stays consistent. If you accidentally create another feature by clicking into the row, you can simply highlight that row and click delete. Save your edits and stop editing. One of the important parts of this process is to make sure there are no geometry issues or any boundary issues. All footprint of disturbances, wetlands, and transition areas must be contained entirely within the site boundary, so you must clip these layers inside the site boundary. You can check for any geometry issues or just click on the repair tool by typing in repair geometry into the search bar. You can run the repair geometry tool by dragging your copied template where your features are already there, and you can click OK. Run these for each individual shapefile that you put into the system. It's also important to note that you can use the clip tool by placing something like the footprint of disturbance or the wetlands and clipping it into the site boundaries. You can save this as a new shapefile just to ensure that your boundaries are not going beyond the extent of the site. And you can click Run and OK and wait for that output to come out. When you're done, you can close your map. You can save the map if you need to go back in, or you can just close the map without saving it if you don't need to go back in there. The last step is to package your zip file. Go into your working folder and select all the file extensions required for the program. Make sure you don't select your exported CAD files and you only select the shape files that are prepared. Highlight all the extensions, right-click, send to zip folder. Avoid using spaces or special characters just to ensure there are less glitches within the system. And now you're ready to bring the zip shapefile into the electronic system online.